Suzuki Swiss Sport Hybrid is in my opinion now the Dutch hero for the people. But there is a but, and there's a much bigger hero in the past for the people, and it was the Subaru Impreza 555 GT Turbo. And in this video I will tell you why. So first of all, I have now 555 subscribers, so that gave the initiation for this topic, because also this Impreza that I'm talking about, the Subaru, was named the 555 GT Turbo. So first off, why was it so special? Well, you got a lot of times you have a halo car, a car that's very good in performance, so the car that you want, but it's very often not the car that you can get. But with the Impreza 555 GT Turbo, this was unified. So this car was below 50,000 Dutch guldens, guilder, I think it is in English. We call it the Nederlandse gulden. And that's about 22,000 euro. So this car I'm driving now is 25,000 euro. So cheaper than this car. And you had a car with 211 horsepower, 290 Newton meter of torque, 1200 kilograms, so not that heavy, and all-wheel drive. And the 555 came from the rally replica that it was. So it was that number the Subaru was performing in the rallies. So that car had no airbags, and also I think it didn't have air conditioning. But all the rest, you had almost everything there, and perhaps there was also not anti-locking brakes standard, because for rally this is not that important, of course. It just adds weight, and they have their own system, and especially on gravel or other loose grounds you don't benefit from ABS at all. You just have the detrimental effect. So that was it. And the third thing to consider is that this car's performance was so good that and also it was so light that you had a car capable of keeping up with real sports cars. For example, a rear-wheel drive 911 had a hard time in the real world to beat this car. And why was that? Because it was light, it had all-wheel drive, and Porsche only rear-wheel drive, and it also had a turbo engine, and that meant that it was easy to be tweaked. I demonstrated this before in my video, but I will tell you again very briefly. So normally with a ECU tune you can adjust the fuel ignition, so the fuel, timing, etc. But with a turbo car you can do the fuel ignition, timing, optimization, but also the pressure of the turbo. So with a turbo car, the turbo force feeds air into the engine, whereas a naturally aspirated car like the 911, air is just sucked in by the engine, so you can have a lot less air. And with a turbo car, you tune that and you increase the pressure, you also increase the amount of air, and if you also can increase the fuel and the fuel timing, you can get a lot more performance. So also the performance and the torque could easily be tweaked. So that really made it the people champion. Another thing that I really liked about this car is that it had of course all-wheel drive turbo and some spoilers, and also the hood scoop, but it also had golden rims, which I really liked. Oftentimes a blue car with golden rims. I still liked it as a very attractive package. I did not like that much the 555 that was on the side, because it was a homologation special for that purpose, as I mentioned before, but now I can still see the charm of it, because it was just a homologation special and it is something special. But in that time I did not like it. If I would have ordered it, and I was thinking about it, was because it was 1995 to 1998 if I remember correctly, and I was almost done with school, so I was really considering this people's hero of a car. But then I would rather not have that 555 stickers on it. Just the golden rims and the blue paint and all the other stuff, okay, but not too much the 555 numbers. And to take things into consideration, another very cool performance type of car, which was far less popular, also really like is the Integra Type R of Honda, which costs about 60,000 guldens. So that would be 10,000, so 1/5 of the price of the Impreza in addition to get to the Integra. The Integra only had 190 horsepower. Torque, I think something like 188 Newton meters, at least 100 Newton meters less, and also not all-wheel drive. It was a very trick car, also very light. I think 40 kilograms or even 40 kilograms lighter, but that's nothing, especially if you have all-wheel drive and a turbo engine on board. So that gives you also some insight about how ridiculously cool this Impreza was with 1200 kilograms. Also, if you now take it into consideration, if you want a Mini Cooper S, a modern day Mini Cooper S with automatic, you will have 1275 kilograms. And that's a car with 192 horsepower, also 2-liter engine, 280 Newton meters, so that's 10 Newton meter less, and 20 horsepower less standard, no all-wheel drive, so that gives you some consideration. And that's a smaller car, yeah. So that's the story. I hope you liked the short video. I will also show you some clips at the end of this video and also at the beginning of some specs comparing these cars, also with a modern 911 and the Mini Cooper as I mentioned. Have a great day. Found my car out.